Five. No start screen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We were having good conversation, and we just felt like just getting after it, right, dude? This is Chris. If you've watched the show before, you know who he is. Him and I have been friends for a long time now. We've been through at least 2 moons.
At least 2.
We played music together, and now we're adults and we work day jobs and find time to do this, I guess, right? What's up, man?
Yeah. Chilling, man. I'm cracking open the old Truly.
Truly? Which one?
Black cherry.
Black cherry. Have you had the new the fruit punches?
Dude.
My girlfriend loves them. She loves them.
I'm not in lemonades, though. Like, I love the lemonades. I'm not big on the iced teas.
Oh, we had the iced teas were all right. I like
right.
the peach one and the lemon one. I think are the ones that I like.
Strawberry iced tea was all right. I like that one, but I all day I can go on the lemonade ones. And then if I'm feeling saucy on a Friday, I'll just get the normal.
Feeling saucy. I got a double scoop going right now.
Oh wow! I haven't had beer in a minute.
Back east. I don't talk about alcohol too much on the stream, but I would like to point out that I'm not a person in recovery. I've never struggled with substance abuse, and I'm just having a good time. I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't trigger anyone. I don't think it ever really would. I think most people here understand mental health show, right? I see Returnal in the background, dude. How's it going? We started talking about it. Now's the time. Tell me about it. Well, this is gaming and mental health. So how has Returnal been for your mental health?
Not good. I've never rage quit a game so hard before multiple times. Not fun. It's a great game. I love it.
Well, so let's. It hurts. It's painful. You have to be a bit of a masochist, right? To do it to a point.
Yeah.
So, for the people that haven't played it, you want to like kind of give them the premise of the game.
Basically, the game starts and you're an astronaut, or so you think, and you crash land on an alien planet, and the entire native species is dead to some fauna life form, and you have to go through these like consistently changing levels.
Yeah.
And the story develops the more you die, which is weird in and of itself.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, man. Like, and just it's very psychological in a way.
Well, because you start finding your own dead bodies, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, "What the hell?" And then you stumble upon your childhood home or the house you lived in, and it starts taking you down this path of like, where am I and what is actually happening?
The other interesting thing that I think they incorporated was you recover suits of other players.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, if you're playing offline, that'll happen. As you're going around, like at first I thought they were my dead bodies, like consistently.
Oh, maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't see that.
Yeah, so you can, when you avenge.
Oh, yes, I have seen that. Yeah, for Ether.
Those are other people that are playing, and they're connected to the servers, and you can avenge them. So every once in a while, I'll get like someone avenged me from like one of my deaths or something.
Dude, every time I sign in, they're like Sonar Recordings, whatever your name is, or like the last place they've been seen was the Crimson Waste. I actually get a notification on my PlayStation because you're my only friend that's actually. I saw Brendan playing it the other day too. Are you friends with him? Brendan's Metal? Yeah. He got a PS5. He had one like early. You know him. He's a diehard Sony guy.
Oh,
Shout out Brendan if you ever watch this. I miss that dude.
I did too. I saw him like a couple of years ago, like 2-ish years ago.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. He be like a and stuff. Dude's rips.
Yeah, no, he was like not male modeling, but like bodybuilding competitions. This guy we're talking about was in a band with Chris and I. He started Burn Lexington. Shout out Burn Lexington back in 2010. How does that make you feel?
Old.
Isn't that wild?
I went to tell a story to Kate like a couple weeks ago, and she it was about a show or something. She's like, "When was this?" And I was like, like 5, 6, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, God.
My 20s were just like, I'm 31 now.
Again.
The 20s went by so fast, and I feel like I did so much stuff. So like, sounds corny to say, I don't have any regrets. We had a lot of fun, dude.
Oh yeah.
I didn't play any Returnal, and I was more miserable. That's the weird part. If Returnal was thrown into my life, God knows what would have happened. But yeah.
I would aspire.
So speaking of Returnal, I'm stuck on the Citadel. And in the Citadel, it's after where you are in the Crimson Waste. So it's the after the Red Planet. And it's like machine enemies. And there's like these guys that chase you down, and when they get close, they explode. But they also take a lot of bullets, and like, you know how that game is. It's chaotic. You try to hit them from a distance. And then there's turrets that shoot at you, but they drop bombs that have a circle that goes out, and you have to dodge that. And then there's guys that fly at you. They look like the guys that are on the ground, where they shoot at you, and they have homing projectiles, whatever they are. So they're like really hard to get away from, and when they get close enough, they kamikaze you. Right? So I've gotten through, I was telling you before, I've gotten through to the boss about 4 times. He has 3 or 4 full bars of health, and I've only gotten halfway through the first one.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like, what do you do?
What fucks me up about this game is there's no difficulty selection, which is good and annoying. Anytime you do die, or anytime you like if I shut the game off and I go to bed and I watch Netflix or something, and then I go to turn the game on the next day, you start at the fucking beginning.
Yeah, I know. Every time you die, it doesn't matter how far you get. It doesn't matter if you've been playing for 4 hours. If you die, it sends you back to the beginning. We didn't even tell anyone that until now. It sends you back to the beginning of the game. You lose everything. Actually, have you upgraded any of your weapons enough to where you have a permanent ability on the weapon?
No.
So, like, my Hollow Seeker will shoot horizontal purple projectiles with the bullets, too, at, like, a steady rate at a different BPM, if you will. You can kind of see how I'm visualizing it. Yeah, so, like, over time, you'll just unlock that from using the weapons. But still, I'm on the 3rd boss in the game. What's his face on the first one? I don't know how many times he killed me. He took me a week to kill him.
It took me 2 or 3 days to just beat that first boss in the. My roommate was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Dude,
Scott, was he watching you play?"
He was like, "Looks like a lot of," and I was like, "A lot of jumping."
Yeah, you really got to be on point. But it feels so good when you how good did you feel when you beat that boss?
3 days later, it felt amazing. But that immediately killed, like, that feeling of like, oh my god, I did it, was immediately struck dead in the road, because as soon as I got into the wastes, I went and then I died to what I was doing, and then I spawned at the ship again. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I have to navigate the entire first world, get to the gate. You know what I mean? So I had no idea that was going to happen. I thought if I died in the second world, I would just respawn in the world.
I thought the same thing at first, because that would be like the normal way a game would allow you to like become engaged and like have fun. But it's not about you being engaged and having fun. It's about hurting you.
They said that they have no plans on introducing a save feature or anything.
I like it the way it is, dude, honestly. I want to stream it. I need to get a capture card. I keep saying to everyone. So, when you get to Crimson Waste, I mean, we got all the time in the world here. We might as well talk about it. Do you get the calibrator right when you get off? There's a vial of silphium, and then there's a calibrator. And the calibrator upgrades every next weapon you get to, I don't know what the level is there at Crimson. I think it's like 5 or 6 proficiency.
In my last run, I was up to level 6 or 7.
Okay. Do you know the shortcut to get to the Crimson Waste from the first area?
No.
So if you know how they have like the baby blue doors or teal or whatever color you see, if it has a circle above it, that is the portal right there. So you figured that out?
Yeah.
All right, so if you get to Crimson and you follow the doors, it'll take you into where those guys I was talking to you about earlier, that are like pretty humanoid that can fuck you up in like 2 hits. There's a portal right before you go in there that will open if you walk next to it that takes you to the top of the mountain. That's my shortcut to the 3rd area.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'd have to play it together.
You might have to boost up to level like 15 or 20 by the time you get to that 3rd level just to make it through.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. And I'm wondering if the game, because I know like in the first area, it would like slowly hand you stuff. Like it would turn on the light at the house and like kind of guide you a little bit. But I feel like the training wheels are off, and I don't know, because nothing would surprise me at this point.
You go back to the house
after Crimson Waste?
Yeah.
No,
back to the house.
No. Oh, I already did that. I haven't seen the light on at the house. I've been back there twice. I was able to go in there twice now. And I haven't seen anything since then, because I'm assuming it's once per biome. That's my guess.
Yeah.
But I'm stuck. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Everyone has played it. Like my friends have played it with me. No one can do it. So why do we enjoy this? Gaming and mental health. What is it about it? What do we like about putting ourselves through pain for 3 hours and for some sort of reward system?
I think it's more of like it's like a cathartic feeling, but it's also like a primal sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. Like we don't have that sort of survival thing anymore. So being able to like, I'll wait for you. Being able to like go and survive something and like come out of it with your resourcefulness is like very pleasing mentally.
Yeah.
But at the very like cathartic and relatable, because as you're playing this game, you're losing your mind with the character and I haven't felt this way necessarily about a game since Hellblade. I was happy you brought that up earlier.
Dude, it's just such a breath of fresh air because it's so different from the regular, rinse and repeat Call of Duty. I play some amazing games, but I've never had a game make me feel that way before, like Returnal does. Same with The Last of Us Part 2. Bro, have you ever had a video game make you feel that way?
Not since the first one.
Exactly. It's like kind of the same feeling, but not really. It's a little more of a bummer. Actually, it's a lot more of a bummer, I think.
I felt so bad because I just shit on that game because of everything.
You talk so much shit. You talk so much shit.
Entirely undeserving. Anyways, and I played it, and then I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, it was one of the best narrative-driven games I've ever played.
Oh, yo, we got friends in here. What's up? Okay, Plague. Thanks for coming by, man.
Hello.
Yeah, dude, I love that game, and I'm with you. You do lose your mind a little bit with the characters. You become invested in this world, in this universe that you're not in, and in doing that, like you're so present in what you're doing. It's like reading a book or playing an instrument. It's like almost like that flow state of existence where you forget what's going on around you. And like in terms of mental health, those stories have got me by, man. Like, I don't know what I would have done without games at points in my life.
Horizon changed everything for me. That was like I've always like played games here and there, but after I got Horizon Zero Dawn on a whim, and then I just started playing it, and it literally made me fall in love with the medium. Just because the story was incredible, the gamelay was fun, but just going through a story like that was
amazing story. Like
amazing.
Like dystopian society and the whole computer program fail-safe for humanity, and like the virus that took it over. And like, you guys, if you own a Sony system and you haven't played Horizon,
it's on PC too.
Oh, that's true. I should just get it, dude. Honestly, I don't know what I've been waiting on, unless they're gonna do upgrades to it for PS5, like they did with the Last of Us in 60 frames is fire, bro. Yeah.
Oh, good. I've checked. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I haven't. I haven't like started replaying it, but I did check it out.
It's really good.
They updated Horizon a little bit. They didn't give it a full PS5 release, but it's there. But the gameplay reveal for the second one the other day was absolutely hype.
I know. I was like kind of debating showing it on here, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. We'll see.
Incredible.
We'll see if we come back to it and we feel like we need to, we'll fucking show it. I can't wait, man. I just I don't know, the whole reason I did this show with you and on this topic was just because I feel like video games have gotten me through a lot of shit in my life. And like
Oh yeah.
starting back to like when I was a teenager and my parents got divorced, and that was the Halo 2 days. And I had this weird phenomenon at my high school where the group of friends that I was in, we all played Halo 2, and most of us were very good at it. Like a couple of the guys played with pros and whatever, but we had like an online community. And I remember like my life at home just kind of like falling apart, like my dad moving out and like trying to figure that out. Like my parents were married my whole life, and just like going online and having like experiencing that unique space in the universe with someone else that is only unique to that space in the universe. Like that is it. Like that, like it's a game. It's unique to the game, really, I guess. But like having that special moment with someone else, no matter who it is, anywhere in the world, and just kind of being able to escape, you know, because people like understand what you're going through and stuff like that. That makes sense.
It's with these like big project games where it's like 100 people worked on this one beautiful story. Even if it's Halo, there's so much lore and attention, even if it's for just a first-person
Well, the
shooter.
thing about that was interesting. Like Halo was, there wasn't any story. I mean, the campaign, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but we were playing online, dude.
Yeah.
We were just, and that's what I meant when I was saying like unique space and time. It's like these matches with my friends where like we were all just in the moment and competitive, and what that's a reason why I like sports too. And I don't know if you've come around on sports since you're so into gaming nowadays. Do you like esports though?
I like what it represents and I like the movement of it, but I don't watch it. Mm-hmm. I used to watch the Smash matches, like when I was like with Jay or Frank or something like that. And that can get even just like playing Smash with your buddies and stuff.
Those guys are crazy good.
Yes, they've been playing since like Melee days on the GameCube though. So like a lot of these guys are just like god tier Super Smash Brother players.
I mean, I'll get down on Super Smash right now. I like right now. Who do you play as?
Oh, either it depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll fuck you up with Mr. Game & Watch. Sometimes I'll just rip you apart with Bowser. I'm all over the map, dude.
Game & Watch came in Melee, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. So OG Smash. I think Melee is considered the best one though. So maybe that's. I always played with Link. That was my fucking dude. I'm a big Zelda guy. That's why.
Ultimate is an amazing game.
I have it. I love it. I got my girlfriend to play it with me. She even liked it. It's like, how do you not like that? It's like, how do you not even like that game?
Yeah,
it's perfect.
It's the best crossover since Infinity War. Like every single character of multiple systems in that game, over 100 of them. Even Steve from Minecraft is in the game. Like you can play as a Minecraft character.
I saw that. What is the story with him? Wasn't it like a weird like Reddit thing?
Oh, I have
that
no
started
idea.
Steve, I think so. Maybe someone in the chat. OK Play crushed MLG Halo back in the day. Nice, shout out. And he played as Kirby. Yo, anyone who plays as Kirby is an asshole. And I'm saying that because my sister always played as Kirby, and she's actually, dude. They had a party for New Year's, and my sister played Smash with all of us, and it came down to me and her. I ended up winning, but like I was so impressed. Like, that was a proud big brother moment to watch her beat my friends at a video game that we played when we were kids. And she's a girl, man. I mean, I guess.
Dude,
girls now.
You want to relate?
Go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
No, I was just saying, at least when we were younger, like, girls didn't play video games, of course, like they do now.
Yeah.
That's all.
I was just going to say, like, if we want to tie something as simple as Smash Brothers back to the initial topic, like, bonding time with your friends. I guess that kind of ties into what you were saying with Halo too. Gives you a sense of community. Like when 4 or 5 of us get together and just have these little like personal Smash tournaments, like it's high heated and like just fun. You're hanging out with friends and bonding over something.
Yeah, and you think about, I think kind of what I was alluding to also was just how the internet changed that. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
where we come from, when we were kids, we used to get together and get pizzas and Mountain Dew and hang out in the living room or the basement. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I did this till I was about 25. I mean, if I still have the opportunity, I'll do it. But that was the only way to do it back in the day.
Dude, we used to get into your basement and play Sticks and Stones.
Oh my God! You said they brought back Sticks and Stones, didn't they?
It's a rotating playlist now, so they took it off, but it'll come back at some point.
Holy shit!
And I was ripping.
So what's going on with Call of Duty right now? Because I haven't been playing it. I know that it still doesn't have an anti-cheat, and that's kind of why I stopped playing.
Yeah, it gets, like, unless you turn crossplay off, it gets a little annoying. So, like, I can definitely tell sometimes if someone's, like, wall hacking or, like, aimbotting and stuff like that, and it gets super frustrating. But it's, like, all 80s themed, you know? I don't play Warzone at all. I just don't play Battle Royale type stuff.
Yeah,
I understand the...
I'm kind of with you. What I did like about Modern Warfare was the ground war mode. It was kind of more cool, like Battlefield is, where like a little bit bigger of a map, some more players, and you respawn as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a fan of that. I can get down in Call of Duty.
Dude, for me, it's like mindless entertainment. Like I can just run around and shoot, and I like the gun models, and like I can work around all that thing. So it's like that's all fun, and I like the progression. Like you're constantly progressing in some way, shape, or form. If it's not the battle pass, it's your level. If it's not the level, it's a gun level. If it's not the gun level, it's like camo for the gun. Like so, there's some grind out for it. So it's like a continuous carrot on a rope.
I like it too. It is mindless. I feel like I get in like certain moods. Excuse me, where like I might want a story. Yeah. Or I might want to just like have a beer and just like bullshit and just fight to the death with people. And it's I mean it depends on the day I'm having, I guess. I don't really know why. It's kind of like it's like a reflex now at this age. Cuz we've always had them. I mean, when did you play your first video game, bro?
Oh, geez. Probably Mario 64 or something like that. Donkey Kong 64.
That was your first game?
Yeah.
Who had that? Where did you play that?
We just had it at the house. You know, like as kids, like we just had like one of those purple translucent N64s, and we would just, you know,
yeah. Tyler had one of those. Actually, no, I don't know. I think he had a controller. I don't think it was the whole system. Sorry.
Yeah. Know anything about games or anything about these characters, but I just started playing, and I didn't. For a long time, I like didn't really care about video games at all. Like throughout teenage years and stuff like that, we would all hang out and smoke some pot and play Call of Duty and whatever, and like pass the days by after work and whatever. And I guess that was good formative time too. Like once again, bringing in like the whole like bonding community.
Yeah, you know, there's value there, especially when you're in your teens or early 20s.
Oh yeah,
and like you know, it's definitely like it's a game to play with your friends. I mean, it serves that purpose.
Like I said earlier, it really wasn't until Horizon did I like become infatuated with the medium, because I understood like everything it had to offer, like the complex storytelling, game mechanics, like the way you interact and change the world. And then you get into things like The Witcher, where it's like infinite possibilities of what you can do, and it's silly.
Well, you have to buy into the world too. Like I feel like games like that. Like you have to be ready to experience something you've never experienced before. Especially like if you're someone listening and you've never been into video games. Like if you're looking to do something new and video games is one of those things, like you have to buy into it. Because like a game like The Witcher, bro, be ready to slow burn it for like 25 hours before that story gets going. I like it. It's no joke. Like you're gonna play that game for 2 weeks, 3 weeks before it gets going, and then you're gonna be upset. Like I would find myself at like 4 a.m. on goose hunts for parts of gear. Like I had to have the right gear, and I would go on these wild goose chases. Yeah, stupid. Just but it definitely helped me with life. Because it allowed me to, in my own time and on my own terms, like find some sense of achievement, or like, I hate saying sense of achievement, because it reminds me of the Reddit post that Battlefront 2 did when it first came out, and it was the most downvoted Reddit post ever. When the microtransaction thing went down, and they were like, we wanted gamers to have a sense of achievement. But it is that. It's a sense, and we were talking before, it's a sense of achievement, but it's a sense of competence, because a lot of times in life, whether at work or in like family life, you're going to come across people that make you feel incompetent, right?
Oh yeah.
And I feel like you have to gain confidence somewhere, or it's gonna be hard for you, right?
And I think that's why difficult games get really popular. Like you have like like all those Souls type games like are insanely popular because they're so difficult to beat. So like if you can do it and do it well, or even just do it in general, like you have accomplished and you have conquered something that is quite like it's how it kind of, to circle back to, I brought it up earlier, Hellblade. I kind of felt that way with that game, because you're like losing your mind with this character.
Can you because you've been telling me to play it forever, and I haven't, and I'm sure people watching, whether you're watching now or later, don't know about it. What do you care to explain, like what it is?
I would love it.
Nice.
So it takes place in like a Viking era, and you play as this Celtic woman who has paranoid schizophrenia, and the whole point of the game is for her to travel into hell with the head of her dead husband to reclaim his soul from Hela.
Jeez. And so wait, is it Norse mythology?
Yeah, a lot of Norse and some Celtic here and there.
Oh yeah, you said Celtic.
But there's a lot of like North, like they're going to like hell and dealing with it. Yeah. So it's, but the way the game plays, there are puzzles. It's very Souls-like in terms of combat, and you only get one weapon. You can never upgrade that weapon. You're just stuck with that one weapon.
Wasn't it a small studio too that made it, like an indie studio?
The game did so well, Microsoft just bought the studio.
I saw that. Yeah.
The game, the cutscenes are amazing. Just the way it's acted and performed is amazing. And there are like random parts in the game where they incorporate real life, like videos in it, and it's like an overlay because she has this weird hallucinatory schizophrenia.
Dude, I gotta play this game.
Constantly hallucinating, and she's losing her mind the whole game, and like the puzzles get harder, and it was incredible. And just conceptually, it was a very unique, new, fresh idea. And you really feel for Senua, like the main character. Sure. Like you really go through the ringer with her, and it like stresses you out. They recommend you play it with headphones on, and after like, I stayed at my studio one night and I just played it for like 8 hours straight. And after a certain point, like I just had to sit back and headphones off and just breathe, because I felt like I was going insane. Because you're here, like, as you're in combat, like her voices she hears will help you out. They'll be like, to your left. And then like, so you can parry off.
Oh, and it's all like 3D audio too, right? Yeah. That's crazy. So you hear it. It's like when you play Fortnite and you hear footsteps everywhere.
But like when you're not doing stuff like that, like let's say you're trying to solve a puzzle, like the voices are all talking shit to you, and they get louder and quieter, and you'll hear them over here, you hear them over here, and it's so like immersive and it really, really digs into your brain, especially with all those added elements of like a mental illness and being basically the forefront of the video game, like, and it's insane. Absolutely.
Was it developed or like written by people with mental illness? I imagine it had to have been people that knew about it.
Yeah, they wrote it along, like they used like certain practices that would give them advice and like coach them on like what a person like this might be experiencing, and specifically in that time period.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Like having something like that today is very different than having something like that 800 years
Dude,
ago.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was talking to my grandmother about that today, about how, like, even when she was young,
Oh yeah, it's a different.
they didn't talk about mental health at all. Nobody did. This is believe it or not, like a newer thing. I mean, at least like, especially the way we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's generally a new thing, and I can't even imagine what it must have been like for people. It makes you wonder how like things turned out, like the witch trials. Like there was definitely some mental illness flying around there. Like let's be real.
Up until the mid 1900s, or even a little later than that, they were just locking people in madhouses and experimenting with barbaric means of experiment. Like, and you could be like, unfortunately, like especially with women, they had like hysteria, they would call it. You know what I mean? Like, and they would just dump them in there because they were, just experiencing things that they didn't want to deal with.
Well, then they didn't want to know, and they thought they didn't have science to explain this shit either.
Oh, and the families wouldn't. I guess it's a lot of hearsay in terms of that, but like families would be like, well, your aunt went to the farm, or like they went, like there was no talk of it in the family, like, and
yeah,
like so neglected in terms of like it's out of sight, out of mind. We're not dealing with it.
Push it to the side, and they had names for those people, and that's pretty much how I think stigma developed.
Yeah, and it, decades of that just kind of compounds and builds up.
Dude, centuries.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I try to, you talk to someone from our grandparents' generation. I mean, your grandmother is a different breed. Talk about the most accepting, loving. Well, she's also been through shit, and like she understands, but everyone goes through shit, and people dealt with things so differently, but like it was tough, man. You didn't have a choice. You had, like, if you were gay, and I'm not saying that's a mental illness, obviously. If you were gay or you were different in any way, like, you had to shut up about it.
Oh,
if you could. God forbid you had something where you were paranoid, schizophrenic, and you were hearing things, and people start, they catch the smell of something weird going on, and next thing you know, you're getting burned at the stake in Salem. Bro, it was crazy.
Electric shock therapy through the 1900s and
or
stuff
the
like that.
Lobotomies they used to do to people.
Lobotomy. They would
through the eye,
down.
Dude.
Oh yeah, or through the nose a little bit.
Is that what they would do, through the nose? I've learned.
There were a lot of different methods of like how they would basically like calm people down.
You've seen Shutter Island before?
Yeah, it's all right. It's
got the Hulk
favorite.
in it.
Yeah, it does.
Mark Ruffalo isn't that, like, if you said Mark Ruffalo, would anyone be like, oh, Shutter Island? No, they would be like, oh, the Avengers. He needs his own Hulk movie, dude. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. What'd you say?
He might be in She-Hulk right here.
She-Hulk?
He might appear.
Yeah. Oh man, Marvel.
I was waiting for that spider.
We got to do mental health in Marvel one of these days too.
Whoa.
I played. Well, what about Marvel video games? What about, like, do you have Miles Morales?
Morales was, so good, dude.
I loved it.
Incredible game. That's another good one. You want to talk about like self-acceptance and accepting who you are and what you can be. I think the whole slogan of that game was "Be better," or something like that. Like
that reminds me of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where Falcon said, the only superpower I have is that I believe we can be better. And I thought that was amazing. Like, what a great thing.
Themes.
What was that? You kind of broke up for a sec.
I love the way that show handled a lot of those themes. Like with Bucky going to therapy and like kind of avoiding, Falcon because like he was a trauma counselor, and like there were so many things with like the mental health aspects in that.
Dude, and just like social commentary in general, like like the cops in the black neighborhoods and all that. Like that was really interesting too. And the whole commentary with the dude that was injected with the serum, the other black dude that said to Sam, he was like, dude, there can never be a black Captain America. And just the narrative that they wrote that was comparable to like our society. And this is why I love movies. This is why I love video games, because there's messages in everything about what's going on. And they're conversations that we should be having that we can't, for whatever reason, figure it out. I don't know. I mean, last time you were on, we talked a little bit about social media and that role in how divisive things seem, at least. But I don't know. I'm just thankful we have those mediums too, that are willing to be truthful to what is important, I think.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. It's even even in I hated the game so much, but the Avengers game.
Ugh.
There's a lot.
Dude, it was so bad. Sorry, everyone. Anyone. I don't think anyone liked that game. Honest to God.
No. I haven't met a person that enjoyed it. I played the whole. I was very upset that I forced myself to do it.
They had one job, dude. They had one job. Like, what are you doing? You have the most profitable franchise or like name, like Avengers, dude. The millions and bazillions of jillions of dollars that it's made in Hollywood, and you put out that Square Enix, who's known for RPGs. Like, come on.
Like a publisher, I think Crystal Dynamics handled most of it, but
well, they tried to make money from it. That's the problem. Instead of making a good game, they turned it into freaking Destiny, like a bad Destiny.
I not enjoy Destiny as much as I used to, and I would still play Destiny every day, all day.
Destiny's fun, dude. Like I'm not even gonna deny that.
No, I think the grind is too insane now, but that's just because I don't want to do it, and that's fine.
There's people that do it, man. You know that. So, were you gonna say something about that? Sorry, I was like kind of reading something real quick.
Oh, no, not about that. I was just gonna cycle back to how diverse of a medium games are, and how there's something for everybody, and in every sense of the word.
Everyone.
So, like, I love action, narrative-driven things, but I also love history. In comes Ghost of Tsushima.
Dude.
I still haven't finished it, but...
Dude. Wait, I told you to play that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, and I just hadn't gotten it yet at that point. But that opening sequence when you're riding in the field, like, on your horse...
It's like this is badass.
The last samurai, like, in that area.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Did you see the developers were honored as they were honored by the island of Tsushima and like the government of Japan. I forget what the honor was, but for like the historical honor that they provided with that game. And not only that, dude. Well, you honor it by telling a amazing story, a relatable story, like in the
pretty ground.
Dude, for me as a poet, I like the haiku parts where he would sit and it would allow you to pick from different words. I was like, this is incredible.
That's what I was gonna say. Like there's so much action and fun, like battles in that game. But then you're also sitting in a field playing the flute on your horse, and you go up to a stream and you follow a fox, and then you write a haiku. You know, like it's like there's relaxing moments in that game where
it's beautiful.
It allows you to back and breathe, and it tells you to do that. And it's like it was. I haven't finished it, so I gotta get to that. But like,
are you playing in 60 frames right now? Because it's sick. Do you have a 4K TV?
No,
I just got one. Rachel and I went halvesies on one because we're working on moving in together. So we went halvesies on one. So I got a 4K HDR. I had to buy a new HDMI cable that can hold the bandwidth for that type of signal. So heads up when you do buy one.
I did not know that.
But dude, 4K HDR. The brights
Incredible.
are really bright. The darks are really dark. You know, it's badass, and that's such a good game. There's something, like, I'm trying to bring it back to mental health. There's just something about stories, because of the seemingly infinite people we have out there. Like, everyone has a story, and these tales that these people write are so relatable because of that, right?
It's like a good book that you can be involved in.
Yeah, like you create, and it gets real fucked up when you start playing like The Witcher, and there's like 15 different endings.
Oh yeah, same with Cyberpunk. You know what I mean? I know that game got a lot of flack and a lot of heat, but I played through it and I enjoyed it.
All right, it's happening right now. Actually, hang on, let me grab another drink.
Yeah. We gotta let the record show.
All right, Cyberpunk 2077. Did it get too much hate?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I think I kind of know what you think, but we played it at the same exact time.
Literally mission for mission, we were playing it.
Yeah.
Like,
right when it came out, like the day it came out, I started playing it.
It was a perfect storm of problems. I think that the way they were really hyped on what they were doing, and that's understandable.
Which is sick. Which is like, you should be hyped on what you're doing.
You should be excited about it. Not like Chris and Image should never be excited about another Marvel game they made, but that's aside from the point. Like CDPR was stoked on this game. They were just riding off the success of The Witcher, and there were a lot of later stage like development problems from what I understand that they had. And a lot of things got cut from the game. Some things were watered down. I still think that it was a good, solid, for what it was, game. I think a lot of people hoped for and expected too much out of it. And coming out during the pandemic when everybody's home, nothing else to do. They've been hyped on this game for 4 or 5 years.
2012 or 2014 or like something, they first announced it. They pulled like an Elder Scrolls 6 and were like, this isn't coming out for 10 years.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then they like had like gameplay footage like a couple years after that, rather. I think like 2017, 2018. And then finally like this past year it came out, and I think there were a lot of technical issues on a lot of different fronts, and that really upset people, because for some people the game was genuinely unplayable. Like,
dude, it was like PS4 or like the base PS4 and the base Xbox One, like, forget it. I mean, I'm pretty sure like every Xbox One it didn't run well on.
Yeah. And I can understand how that could be frustrating.
Yeah, like, no kidding. Dude, who wants to deal with that? No one.
Yeah.
You paid for it.
If every 25, 35 minutes you're getting booted off and like the game's crashing.
That's what happened to my cousin on PS5. He said he couldn't even play for more than like an hour without it just. Which a game like that you're gonna play for more than an hour, dude.
Yeah, I rebought it for my PS5.
How is it on your PS5 versus your PC?
Haven't run it.
You
yet.
haven't played it yet, dude.
I'm waiting for a couple patches to come out. Just to see what they do, right? And then, but like it ran on my computer, and I'm just running a 1050 in there, and you know, I thought it was a fun, interesting, technologically driven game, and I like that whole aspect of like a dystopian future, like torn apart by mega corporations. It's very reflective of the world we're living in.
Not that far off.
Not that far off.
Not that far off.
I related in some degree of like people living in poverty and like not being able to get by and all of those things like that, you know, like those are all relatable concepts, and being kept down by corporations and just the way that they were marketed to and all sorts of stuff. But I think because of the time when it came out during the pandemic, it definitely had a bigger blowback than it would have in a normal year.
Well, and that's unfortunate because there was definitely a relatable story to tell there. I mean, you just talked about it, you know, and I'm playing on a 2080 Super, which now they got the 3080 Ti out. Hey, bro, you got $1,800 real quick? You want a new graphics card? No. Holy shit. I played on the 2080. I have a Ryzen 3700. I mean, I had problems, but I had far less. But it was the same story, like frame drops. I never got more than. I think at one point I got it, like after the first few updates, I got it running steady at like 80 frames per second, which was way better than most people were getting.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, dude, because The Witcher 3 was perfect. Literally perfect.
I'm pretty sure some of the people that helped with that game are no longer with the company. And I think that also contributed to what people expected out of this game. Because a lot of fans of The Witcher were like, well, they made a great game already. I'm definitely going to buy this game.
Dude, the story was pretty badass in Cyberpunk.
Oh, it was
like Johnny Silverhand and like entering into the cyberspace and the internet, basically. Like
there was a lot of solid foundation there.
And Keanu Reeves was fucking unreal. He was so good, dude. He was so good.
Oh yeah.
And because of how it was released, like people are like, nah, Cyberpunk, fuck that game.
I think it's a bummer. It's just I think it's never going to be able to reclaim the spot it once could have had. And then CDPR gets hacked for ransomware, and that that fucked them up. All sorts, too.
We're living in cyberpunk right now. That's what it seems like.
The company that made something about cyber hackers just got cyber hacked. So it was kind of ironic.
What the fuck? There's cool stuff there, like the brain dance technology.
Oh my god!
Like, for anyone who's never played, like in Night City, the technology they have, like a way of entertainment, is like they put these lights. They're like glasses. They're like basically these headphones, and you have these arms that come across your eyes, and they light up, and it triggers you into basically like a dream state, but you're in a story. Like you can live in this space, and it becomes like ways that there's trafficking, like sex trafficking and all kinds of crazy shit. Like, who was the person that there was some character gets trafficked in the game, and you're like trying to figure out
a kid or something. There was something with brain dances and a kid too. I think that's I'm conflating two things.
So many good ideas.
You're talking about early on with like Judy.
Yes. What a great character. I love Judy.
Pan Am, amazing.
Dude, my girl Pan Am, bro.
Pan Am.
The only girl besides the woman I'm in love with, Rachel, that ever made me feel that way. Dude, great love interest in a video game, though. Am I right? Like, it was really like, wow. And again, it goes back to like what this whole show is about, is like you feel that in a game, like a video game.
Crazy.
It's not real.
Are legitimately in love with Pan Am. Like,
well, if you're a girl, you can be with Judy.
Or River.
Or River, if you like the dudes, you can be real. Yeah, like I had the option when I was playing. When I was like, no, sorry, bro. You seem like a nice dude, but I don't want to see your dick.
On one of the I was like, fuck it, let's see what happens. And he was like, whoa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you have to play it right.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. The romance is like you have to have the right choices. CD Projekt Red is good with that. Like they did that in The Witcher 3 too, especially like with how the story ends with Ciri.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether she dies or becomes Empress or she becomes a Witcher, all depends on all the choices you make, like dialogue choices, like story choices, not combat choices.
Oh yeah, they kind of did the same thing in Cyberpunk, where there's an ending you can get only if you have the right conversation with Johnny at some point in time.
That's the space ending, right?
No, that's the one where
Space Casino.
No,
they robbed the space casino. Come on.
On their own with no help.
Really? That's an ending?
Yeah.
Because the one you told me about.
Nothing. I don't know how that.
Where it's where you go to Johnny's grave, and you have to wait when he suggests something. Or no, I think I'm conflating it with the end part.
Yeah. When you go to You have to have the correct dialogue choices. So by the time you get to the rooftop later on, if you sit and wait, he'll suggest, what if it's just me and you that go in? And it's just like your suicide run. And it's like, that's what he calls it, basically. And it's brutal.
I think I need to play this game again.
I didn't get that, unfortunately, because I didn't make the right dialogue.
I didn't do the suicide run. I did it where I go in with with Pan Am's group.
I did that one.
I ride into the darkness with Pan Am at the end.
I did all 3 that were available to me. I went in with Pan Am, went in with Road, and then I went in with Arasaka. And
you did it 3 times, really?
Dude, I did it more than 3 times.
Wow. Good for you, man. It's good. It's a good fucking game. That's what people like. If you're watching now, and you've been trying to decide, it's well worth a play.
Oh yeah, you'll get your money.
I agree, especially now.
Yeah.
Well, and you know that CD Projekt Red is going to put out banging DLC. Like that has to be their swan song for this game, is to put out a really, really good DLC.
Oh yeah.
And they will. They did it with The Witcher. The Blood and Wine DLC was absolute fire.
Dude,
and it was like 50 hours.
It was a whole other game.
Yeah, no, it literally was.
I didn't really care for the other one that they put out.
Blood and Wine, Heart and Stone. I don't remember. It's all.
I can't recall.
It's all sort of jumbled in my brain right now.
Yeah, the way the Blood and Wine one was impeccable, absolutely incredible.
With the vampires too, like I saw vampires. I was like, come on. Skyrim did it. Actually, Skyrim did it pretty well too.
Yeah, that's one game I've never played, just because there's just too much to do. And I saw this one post once where it was like, decided to play Skyrim. So I found a dog. I wanted the dog to be my friend, but the dog would only be my friend if I had a house. So I built a house, but the dog wouldn't come inside unless I had a wife and a kid. So, and like, this dude spent like 3 weeks just trying to get this dog to befriend him, all for the dog.
I thought you were going to tell me the story. There's one mission where the dog that you find is actually like a Daedric god, which is an evil god, and brings you on this like mental mission. Yeah, dude, it's like, dude, that game is special. Like, it is really, really, really good. Like, that is the first expansive, like, totally unlimited possibility and just sheer mass of content.
Crazy that that's the same company that made Fallout 76.
Yeah, right. Fallout 4 was pretty good. Did you play Fallout 4?
Never got that big into the Fallout. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of Bethesda's art styles, and that's all down to preference. I can understand how it can be appealing. Just for me, it's not nice on my eyes.
Well, they got Starfield coming, hopefully, and everything's gonna be Xbox and PC exclusive. So glad I got a PC now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I think if you went and played Skyrim now, you would probably not have that good of a time, because if you could get past what it looks like, you'd probably be all right. You can mod it. There are some Skyrim mods now that are absolutely crazy.
Same with The Witcher, man.
It takes a long time. You really have to know what you're doing to install those mods. I don't know. Like, I see them. I went down this rabbit hole where I was gonna mod, and then I saw what it was gonna take, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I was like, no.
Those were pretty fun. I liked some of those mods that I had.
Well, now you can run ray tracing and shit on those games.
Yeah. But it's almost native. Like, they're putting out updates for The Witcher on all platforms for free. So it's like everything's gonna be native. So it's graphical.
Maybe I should just get back into playing The Witcher, right, dude?
One game that's been on my mind a lot lately that I want to replay is Red Dead 2.
I played through on my PC, which it rips on my PC. But that's a game that you're not going to get more than like 80, 90 frames per second.
No way.
Like, and that's good. That's like the high end of it. I got through about 90% of it. Like, I'm at the end where they're in the last camp, and Micah starts being a real asshole, starts calling you black lung, like he's already started coughing up with the TB and all that. That's an amazing game too, man. Yeah, whatever. How long has Red Dead been out now?
Long enough.
You played it through, right?
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Okay, so you already know. What ending did you get?
The beautiful ending with he died on the cliff and like the
did better than I did. The second time I got that. The first time I got shot in the face by Micah. You know how they have that scuffle at the end?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I'm like the game is ending, like it's happening, and then one shot goes off and Micah just starts laughing. And that's how it ended. And then it was on to John Marston. Yeah, well, you see like Dutch walk away and that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, it bothered me.
Yeah.
Because that game, again, we talk about investments. Like, you want to talk about hours.
I bought it when lockdown first started. Like that first week in March when lockdown hit, I bought Red Dead.
That was a good purchase.
When it was all said and done,
that was the first time?
Yeah. 400 some odd hours into that game of just riding my horse around,
it's playing a beautiful game,
adventure in houses, and
it's a beautiful game,
and it's all based on your honor, like in the game.
Yeah, I figure I realized that I couldn't be like GTA and just kill everyone.
Well, you can. The catch, if you walk around and say hi to people, that's an exploit in the game, and it raises your honor. So for every 5 or 6 people you say hello to, yeah, it'll bring you up like
you can just be like, nah, I feel like committing a murder today. And the murders are brutal in that game too, man.
Brutal.
It's disgusting.
Going back, like building a community though, like I got a bunch of my friends to buy the game, and then we would all go into the online and just sit around and play poker and get on Discord and talk shit.
Is it fun?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, we should do that one night on here. Like I can stream it. It actually, I can stream it pretty well because that game doesn't have any ray tracing or anything. That's the thing about. I'll tell anyone, like if you're nervous about running that game on your computer, it'll probably do better than you think. It's probably the best looking game without that.
Yeah. I had a couple like stutters here and there, but I got through it.
Yeah, but that's just normal. That's like any game really. Dude, we should do that. That would be really fun on here.
That'd be sick.
Because it's Texas Hold'em, dude.
Yeah, but we don't need to just. You can do so much just in the community of that. You'd have to probably do it in closed server because then what made us end up stopping was there were a lot of people that would grief kill. Like they would just walk around and indiscriminately kill other people in the lobby for no reason.
And GTA is like that online. It's a total. Have you played that online?
No.
It is an absolute shit show. No. It's crazy. It's what it is.
I haven't played it, but I know enough about what you can do in it, and you can live a whole second life in that game. It's bonkers.
Yeah, I haven't done it. I need to check out the online. I just didn't know. I didn't really like GTA Online. Is it the same map? Is it the whole map too?
Map, yeah.
No shit.
Some things are a little different, like the way the NPCs work, and like some things are a little more dumbed down. But overall, it's the same thing. It's open. You can travel wherever you want. Some things are more difficult, like ammo does not go as far as it does in the normal game. Like your horse will get way more tired way faster. Like it's not easy to get materials and clothes.
Can you go like in the multiplayer game? Like I know in the main game, like I went to the northwest corner where it's all snowy and found that Arabian horse, the wild horse out there. That's the best horse in the game, dude. Did you do that?
It took me 3 hours to get that.
Yeah, it's
horse.
not. It's.
I was not having a good time.
I'm trying to figure out like how we like our selling point on video games to people who are looking for a pathway. Because we're just like, yeah, well, I went out there and there was a horse in this game and I spent 3 hours trying to get it. Like, it doesn't seem like an attractive thing to do.
Well, the way I always try to sell people on it is I was like, well, do you watch shows or movies that you get really lost in? And they'll be like, well, yeah, like they like the Lord of the Rings or something. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Everyone has something.
And then I'm like, well, have you ever wanted to just change the outcome of something in that? And they always say, yeah. I'm like, then you would like playing a video game. Because if you get invested enough into it, you will fall in love with that story.
Yeah, well, and that's where we're at, dude, right now with video games. Is like, it's not Pong or Mario or like anything like that anymore. Like, we're talking about beautiful worlds, like immersive worlds. And like, you play a Naughty Dog game, especially, you see the eyes and like something's going on, an emotional scene, and you see their eyes welling up with tears, and like, it's crazy. It's so immersive. And
dude, the last two made me fucking cry like a baby.
They got you, huh?
Dude, and there were so many things about that game that I didn't want to leave the world. And that says a lot because that world sucks.
That world, dude, I'm glad. I 100% agree with you, because that game, especially, the first one had its beautiful moments. It ended on a dark tone. But The Last of Us 2 doesn't really get better. Like,
no.
they do really well at highlighting the beautiful parts, like when Ellie and Dina are really developing their relationship and they find weed, and like the flashbacks to like Ellie and Joel in the space capsule. Like, that whole that is one of my favorite scenes in video games ever. But then you talk about like the end scene with Ellie and Abby, like, or like when she tries to play the guitar at the end, you know, she can't anymore, and it's just like,
that's so much to like what the game meant and what it was about. And I anytime I get really into something like that, like, I'll watch every video known to man on YouTube about that content. And I watched this one video essay about The Last of Us, on why it's called The Last of Us. And the way they broke it down, it's like, it's not, at first when you hear that, you'd be thinking like, oh, it's because, you know, there are less humans.
We're the last ones alive, yeah.
But it's more like, it's The Last of Us. They're more referring to Joel and that generation of people, because they're the last of the people that knew what life was like beforehand. Everyone else you play as was born after the infection. So it's the last of the people that brought that world together. And you know what I mean? It's up to the next generation of people to really build back better than what it was before. And like, they obviously described it way more eloquently than I am right now, but it was a beautiful way to interpret like what the game is and how it should resonate. And I really enjoyed that.
I always kind of interpreted it as like The Last of Us, like what's left of us.
Yeah.
Like the desperation in the chasing of any feeling, like revenge even, because it's something, it's it's like you're literally chasing humanity. What is the last of humanity? It really is a beautiful game, man. And I'm so glad you came around, because you talk shit.
Yeah, bro. Dude, when Ellie went to sleep and you woke up as Abby, I was ready to throw everything.
Yeah, but that was the point. That's the point.
Yeah. They want to make you hate a person and understand why that person got to that point in their life where they did that to you. The character you've already been in love with. So it's like, for me, it was like a big lesson in trying to understand someone else's motivations and points of views in real life, because you don't know what brought another person to that moment where they might have crossed you or you had that odd interaction with them. There's a whole life of things that led them to that interaction with you. And it's like, you should take a step back and try to understand what that life is before you react to it. And that was the lesson I got out of it, because I was ready to jump through the TV and beat her senseless. I couldn't fucking do it, dude. But by the end of it, I felt bad for Abby. Like, I felt genuinely really terrible.
Horrible. Everyone she loved was killed. Everyone. And and it just goes to show you, yeah, you're right. Like, everyone is going through a battle. What is that old quote? Like, everyone is going through a battle you know nothing about. Be kind.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, and Ellie and Abby were both sort of
conduits for that.
Violent and murderous and consumed by revenge for the same noble reasons. Like, that can happen for noble reasons too, but it's just not worth it. And that is just like one of the themes that's going on in that game. And I mean, people have their opinions about like Lev being transgender and whatever, but like I think it's a good thing ultimately to have characters in games that people are so emotionally invested in that represent people in our society that struggle or that deal with discrimination or things like that.
Because even in the post-apocalyptic time, that stuff's not going away.
No, it's not. And I loved what they did with Lev, how like they were literally running away. The whole interaction with them and Abby happened because they were running away because she shaved her head and wanted to be a boy, essentially. And that was it. And they were on the run. Everyone in that game is like protecting their own livelihood, but no matter what, it's all shit because of the fungus that has overrun humanity. It's really a beautiful fucking game, dude. I could talk about The Last of Us for hours.
All day. I liked the ideas behind how like that whole virus started too, and like how it works. Because cordyceps mushroom is a real thing.
It is.
Does attack the ants and other insects, and it like
that's what people don't know. Look up cordyceps fungus on Google right now, and you will see ants and insects possessed by this fungus that literally is like parasitic.
And they just took that and made it a human element, which isn't that far off. You know what I mean? Like in terms, what could possibly, I guess, in a conceivable reality happen with something like that? Like,
dude. And let's not forget to mention that The Last of Us 2 came out when COVID, like, shit was shut down.
Peak COVID.
So, like, we're thinking pandemic, and then you dive into this world, and you're like, okay, well, maybe we have it pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
And the way things started in the game, too, it was just a bad batch of mushrooms that came from a farm.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
No way.
Contaminated somehow. But yeah, it was just a food crop that just went wrong. And like it slowly started traveling and infecting people, and like it was so grounded in reality. And if you want to talk about some of the saddest moments of any story ever, the first 15 minutes of the first Last of Us game is like heart-wrenching.
I cried the first time I played it. I was like, I am 15 minutes into this game, and I'm crying. Well, and because that's that really is the framework for both games, because Ellie is basically Joel's daughter, like however you want to frame it. That was their relationship, and it was beautiful because of that world,
and because of that setup and that build up, and like you're hanging out, and like I've replayed the first one now since I finished the second one, and everything comes full circle.
Yeah.
So like, the watch that Joel's daughter gives him is like the watch Ellie takes in the second game. And like there's so many ends that get tied up and like that I forgot about because it's been, I don't know, 5-6 years since that game came out.
Neil Druckmann, bro.
Dude.
Literally a genius. And well, I mean, he had Troy Baker playing Joel.
Incredible.
Who Troy Baker is literally like the best gaming actor ever. And what is the girl? Allie Johnson plays Ellie, I believe is her name. Is that right?
Yeah. She's an amazing singer also. For like 3 weeks, I
need to listen to that. Oh my God.
Dude. Incredible. Even like I would just be driving down the road listening to her version of Take On Me, and it was beautiful.
Well, it sounds like Ellie singing to you, which was amazing.
Dude, amazing.
What'd you think of the guitar playing moments in The Last of Us 2? I thought that was pretty cool because you can like go and play, like if you know chords to songs, like you can play them.
I thought that was cool, and I like how I like when games give you a moment to step back from everything and do something that's not related to the main storyline, and what you're and that game, like doing that was a character building moment for Ellie, because it's like not often do you do something in a game with a character that character is supposed to enjoy doing, right? So it's like after you just kill 15 people and 30 zombies, you just go into a movie theater and you start playing a guitar. Like that's
yeah, but you know what hit me though was because she was consumed by revenge and everything that happened, she was unable to keep playing the music at the end of the game. And that like that's how the game ended. And it really being like a music person, like the first episode we did on here in this season was music and mental health, like that.
She also less fingers, but yeah,
it was these two fingers, I think. Spoiler alert.
Yes, big spoiler alert.
Big time spoiler alert.
But that also just goes to show that you can lose everything in a quest for trying to avenge something, and it's sad, man.
Yeah, and not only in the game. Think about what's the name of the woman that played Abby. She was getting death threats.
Yeah.
Neil Druckmann too, for what happened with Joel. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Been enough time, right? Joe got golf clubbed.
Dude, that actually I streamed that. I streamed my reaction to it. It was back. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was back when I was doing it on PS4, like through the PS4. So I didn't have all this cool, nice technology that I have now. And like, if you go back far enough on my Instagram, you'll probably see me. There's just a photo of me like this. I was a wreck for like a full day after that.
Dude, because you spent 40 hours with him before. You know what I mean? And like, you built this connection with him and this like surrogate daughter that he had. And it's just to have it all just get taken away like that was, in terms of the characters, a just cause, right? Like, he, killed the one and only person that could have made a cure for everything. And it just so happened to be that character's dad.
All right, so 2 questions. A, what are you thinking of the show coming up? And 2, what are you thinking of the remake of The Last of Us 1?
From what I understand, it's just a graphical update.
Hey, whatever, dude. You can have you want $70? I'll give you $70. I don't care. I'm all over it.
And considering I just played it with like PlayStation 3 graphics, even on the 5, like it doesn't look that great.
No, it looks like shit now.
Yeah. So like, I mean, at the time when I played it for the first time, I was shitting my pants.
The cut scenes when they did the remastered version for PS4, the real update was the cut scenes. Like they looked like Uncharted 4 did. Yeah. So that was current, but the actual gameplay looked like PS3.
Yeah. So I think in terms of, I'll get to the show in a moment, but in terms of like an updated version of that game, maybe even with some mechanics built in from the second one, that could be really tight. Really tight. Now, the show I'm torn on, because I love shows, and like, I love The Witcher show. So I'm okay with...
The Witcher show was so good.
Incredible.
That first episode, like, I remember you tweeting, like, just dismantled Game of Thrones in literally one episode.
Yeah.
It was one of the best episodes of TV of all time.
And I love Game of Thrones, but like by the end of it, they let everyone down. I'm not alone there.
Still haven't watched it.
The ending?
I saw my ex-girlfriend liked Game of Thrones, and I watched like when Daenerys got the dragon and just fried fucking everybody. Like she went psycho in the last season. That was, I think, the only episode I ever watched of Game of Thrones. Oh, my cat is still in here.
Up until that last episode or that last season, incredible show. One of the best drama fantasy shows ever, honestly.
I should watch it, honestly.
You should, but just understand at the end you're gonna be. It's like Dexter. It's worse than the season or series finale of Dexter.
Yo, Dexter's coming too.
That's gonna be great.
Is it Jeff Lindsay? Yeah, Jeff Lindsay. You saw that, right?
Oh my god, dude.
Talk about mental illness, mental health. My boy Dexter. Before I even understood mental health, yeah, I'm excited for that. I think but let's not get too far away from the Last of Us
I don't know if it needed a show because, like, from what I understand, what I've read, it's gonna keep a lot of stuff the same, but change certain key moments because it's just a different medium, and you can't do a scene for scene remake of a video game. Like, it gets very difficult to do that.
There's gonna have to be creative freedom there, so we're not gonna get the same thing.
I feel like there's an overuse of Pedro Pascal. Regardless of,
Dude, I had the same thought. Like,
great,
from the get-go, I was like, yes, I love The Mandalorian. Probably one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
Yes, Narcos. He was incredible in Narcos. Incredible. Arguably better in Narcos than he was The Mandalorian, but that's a whole other show.
Yeah, that's a
whole different conversation. But yes, like, totally. I was like, come on, like, that's your guy. Like, they're.
And he was in the new Wonder Woman, which I wasn't a big fan of that.
He did like some kids movie too. It's on Netflix where he's like a superhero of some sort.
Yeah. He just did another. It was like an indie film he did. I didn't get to watch it yet, but I've heard good things. But I think that he's just really a hot ticket item right now,
which is cool, dude. It's gonna be good enough.
It's gonna be great.
He's gonna be. It's not gonna be. It's HBO too, so like it's not gonna be bad.
No, so I definitely think it's gonna be good. I don't know how I feel about Bella Ramsey as Ellie.
She was in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, and she's an amazing. She's in another show on HBO that I love. His Dark Materials, an amazing show. You would enjoy that shit a lot.
I never watched it.
You would super dig that show. I'll text you the name of it later because it's a good time to get into. Daphne Keane and like James McAvoy are in it, and like the girl that played Logan's daughter in Logan, she's like the main character.
Shit.
But Bella Ramsey was in that too. I think she's a good actress, and she's like a kid, so I don't.
Well, because here's the thing, though, dude, is it's like. I remember this is like when I grew up reading the Harry Potter books, and I had my own image in my head for what every character looked like. Yeah. And then I get to like 6th or 7th grade, and they put out the movie for the Sorcerer's Stone. And that is ultimately, because I'm trying to think, I think it was like senior year of high school, the last book came out. So by the time I finished the books, I had the images of the kids from the movies.
Yep.
So, like, I think there's that going on with The Last of Us. Is like, we're not really going to know. It was the same thing with, Henry Cavill for The Witcher. It was the same thing. Like, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be. And he was fucking amazing.
Incredible Geralt, dude. But he also has a love. He loves up and the game. He's like played the game like an obscene number of times, and that was
he's got like there's a video on YouTube of him like showing his gaming rig, and it's like it's like a spaceship.
Yeah, silly. So the dude's just a nerd that got to play Superman and Geralt, like, and I respect it.
Yeah, talk about life goals. You was Superman. You're Superman.
Yeah,
and Geralt. Yeah, pretty cool.
I hope it's good. I want it to be good, especially with the HBO backing. I don't see a reason how it could fail, But there's a lot of shows coming in and out of pipelines lately that just, I feel like they're just throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks.
So let me ask you something, dude. Like, I think, again, bringing it back to, like, mental health. I know I talk and people within the industry I work in the mental health space talk about like staying present, and like I know video games, it could be argued that it's consumption as opposed to being creative. What do you think about that?
I think there's a lot of creativity in the way you approach a game, and I think it allows you to do more than you would think. Because, like, think about it. You have games like Minecraft, right? And, like, that's not really in the same realm of any of the games we've talked about, but it's still a video game at the end of the day. I don't know what it is, but there is a story to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are ways you can be creative with games,
Making
and
your own story with something like
yeah,
that.
or even something like No Man's Sky, which is incredible now.
Dude, that game is like almost too much now.
Yeah, I
I
remember
played
when.
it when it first came out, and I was like, this is cool. It's
Yeah,
definitely not what we were promised.
no,
But now, I literally, I got it like 3 months ago. And I was
yeah,
like, holy shit, this is literally a completely different game in the same
yeah.
world.
It's like the game that they said it was going to be now. And like there's such a creative way in which you play. Even if you play something like Grand Theft Auto or The Witcher, like you can approach it in any direction you want to approach it. You can build your own character, not necessarily your own character, but build out how your character performs.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut, you know what I mean? Like you can curate the way that you want to experience this medium. And I think there is a level of creativity to that. And it also inspires people to want to create games and other pieces of media like that. Like I know a couple people
I know for
want to,
me, dude. I
like,
get ideas from games.
I would love to make a game or even just like make something, something like that. I
It's an art
can't.
form for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's super underappreciated and undervalued. Uh, and that says a lot considering how popular video games are. But I still think that as a storytelling medium and art form, it's very undervalued. Not underutilized, but undervalued.
Well, because people see it as a waste of time. People think it's like watching TV, which
Yeah.
I think any of that. I think it's all how you look at it. It's all about how it sits in your life. Like, does it sit in a space where it's a waste of time? Yo, do you have a light in front of you?
Not in front of me.
Spin? Yo, you got to get a
Yep.
light. Just turn your light on, dude.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be perfect, man.
Whoa. I know. It got
Honestly,
dark in
you
here.
have like the best setup of anyone that's ever come out in here for the most part.
It's just butter. Well,
Yeah, dude. The reason I ask about your thoughts about video games is because I do think they get a bad rap.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
when we were young, I think like Grand Theft Auto was popular and there was the whole violence in video games thing. But like I think everyone now knows that that's bullshit.
Yeah, there was violence before video games. Like you can't blame it just on
Yeah.
that.
Well,
No, like
I think for the most part, like we know that now, right?
yeah,
I think it says more about the people than it says about the video games. Similar to, weed and people
yeah.
who smoke weed and do bad things.
You can say movies and TV, and they could have said the same thing about books at some point in time. We have banned books. Now, I'm not going to get into what I may or may not know about those books. It's not a lot, but I know that like why they were banned, and it's because they were afraid of how it would influence people to act and react in the real world, right? And it's kind of the same thing. Like you want to ban like mature video games and stuff like that. Well, why? Like because you can't say like this is directly causing something to happen. I think that's silly. Like there's still a human element of choice in what people do in the real world. So it's like,
for sure.
you know,
So hey, you're up against the lawmakers, right? They want to ban our video games, and they want to know the positive influence it has on your life and the people around you. What would you say to them?
oh man, I would
Mental
say,
health show, bro.
yeah, I would say it's an escape from the reality that they've cultivated and created that binds people down into this rat race mentality. And it's like, I work all day, every day. I'm constantly doing the same thing day in and day out because I have to get by, right?
We all do.
I don't hate my job. I don't hate my life. I enjoy what I do and everything, but I wouldn't do it if I didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure a lot of people share that sentiment. Like, thankfully, I'm doing something I enjoy doing. So, like, that's out of the way, but I still have to do it. So I'm kind of grounded to where I am and what I have to do. To be able to turn on a system in my TV and be transported to a whole new world with a new scenario that I can interact with, that's such a cathartic experience. And it's so relieving to be able to go and visit these strange new worlds and interact with all these interesting people and cultivate what feels like a relationship with these characters because you're involved with them somehow. Like whether if it's just like a heist in Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead, or if it's helping Yennefer and The Witcher, or you know what I mean? Like,
what about my girl Triss though?
Oh, tell you that, right?
Yeah, but I'm with you, man. I think there's so much freedom that doesn't exist in our society, at least in what is considered normal, right?
I would say also that a good argument to something that I said would be like, well, why don't you go out into the world and do something? It's like, well, I do those things too, right? Like I go on hikes, I can go fishing, I can do all these things, but it's a different feeling to go to someplace magical or fantastical.
Yeah,
you know
the shit doesn't exist in the real world.
No,
like what do you think we're doing? Do you think we don't know that?
Yeah. I can't go fight a griffin out in the real world, but if I'm Geralt, I can.
And carry its fucking head on the back of my horse, dude.
Bro.
Just
it's like
killing it.
I can read books about feudal Japan, but I can't experience feudal Japan back in the 13, 1400s.
Well, and that's the amazing thing, like a game like Ghost of Tsushima. It's like,
yeah, man.
It's historically accurate and like maybe not totally accurate, but paints a picture of what that time might be like, and puts humanity on it. I think that's another thing about games that maybe we haven't laid out plainly, at least, is that they paint relatable pictures in places that we don't exist. So we can see, it's like looking at ourselves in other places in the universe.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? Like you're making a choice for someone else, or maybe it's you. Maybe it's you.
Hey, man, depending on who you talk to in the scientific and technological community, this could all be one big video.
I mean, dude, as the days go by,
yeah,
I'm starting to wonder.
Dude, I'm the worst NPC there is. I'll tell you that right now.
For a while, you were literally the most unimpressed NPC I've ever met in my life, and you didn't like shreds in metal songs, and we can go on and on. But no, I know what you mean. It really makes you fucking wonder, and it's crazy. Yeah. Even crazier to think about that The Matrix came out in like what 1999 or something stupid like that. What a great movie!
I think that. With just like TV did from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it innovated technology moving forward. Like there's a lot of things we have technologically that we have because of Star Trek, right? Like, and
or Star Wars.
Exactly, and I think those are that's a crazy like continuation of events from something we consumed in the media to something we now have in the real world. So I think video games can help and aid in that same way. And I think it can be very therapeutic because we're going to be able to simulate certain things that are so indistinguishable from real life.
Dude, it's crazy to think about. It's like, how real are these games going to get?
Who knows? Because look at what they've done just in the last 20 years. 20 years, dude. Like Mario 64 came out in 97, 98, maybe 2000, somewhere around there. And it looks like 8-bit dog shit. Like, it's still
like... Yeah, no, 100%. I love, though, again, hey, we'll take it back to the beginning, Returnal. I love the bullet hell mechanic. That has existed in games... Forever. Like Metroid or something like that, dude. Like, it's that same feel, and here we are in 2021, and we're experiencing the same thing. How real is it going to get?
Because it's pretty real so far. You know, like these games look like when I was walking or like just riding a horse through Red Dead, for a moment I was like, oh, this is just a video. Like it looks, you can see the grass freezing.
Dude, that game in particular is one of the most beautiful games you'll ever play.
Ever.
100%.
So like, at what point of and like, granted, there are games that have art styles and like specific art styles, like Borderlands or like I don't know if you've ever played Cuphead. Cuphead's
dude, it's so brutal. I that's bullet hell too.
Yeah.
that is too hard. That falls into the realm of Dark Souls for me, where like it's unplayable. Yeah, dude, the art style's badass. It's like, hey, 1940s or 1950s. I don't know. I think it's 50s is the actual time period cartoons looked like that.
Incredible. The fact that it looks like a real cartoon, but it's a video game. It was incredible.
Yeah, it really is amazing.
You know, that takes away from my point, I suppose, but like, I think, and I've heard Elon Musk talk about this, like the driving force of like a world that we can create that's so indistinguishable from real life. I think a lot of video game mechanics are going to come into that. I was watching Unreal Engine because they're coming out with Unreal 5.
Dude, I saw it. Did you watch like the Arizona looking video?
Where they were showing how they were building it.
It looked like they were in Arizona or like Mars. Look at my cat.
Oh. Dee Dee. Yeah, no, it looked so realistic. And, like, that's a new technology that's not even fully available to the public yet. Where will that be in 10 years? And then you bring in VR into the whole mix. Like, I'm not one of those people that are, like, afraid of VR and, like, what it might do.
No, I'm not either.
Because I think it could end up being used as good therapeutic tools for people to work through PTSD and stress.
Well, and that's the good side of it, but like how real are we trying to get to where we're totally detached from reality?
It's a tough call.
Well, and that's why I personally, that's kind of why besides the fact that it gives me motion sickness, I sort of veer away from VR because I like to sit in a room, like a well-lit room, maybe a candle on, maybe a joint going, with like a TV, and like it's I'm in the room with it. I'm not like totally in it.
I'll tell you what, bro. If I could roll around as Geralt or Arthur with a,
it'd be cool to try, man. But
yeah, dude.
But who knows? You know me, dude. The people that watch these know me. Like I'll get down on a video game. I'm a little freaked out.
And if it can bring me closer to experiencing the full reality of that story, I'm in. Because what's better than just like watching something? It's experiencing it.
It's like a brain dance in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, man.
That's literally that's what VR is gonna be. That's the crazy thing about that game is like it didn't feel like they were that far off of what might happen.
No, it was very grounded within reality of what is possible and what is not possible. I don't know. Have you ever watched Black Mirror at all?
I watched a few episodes. I remember one in particular where there was like a social rating system for people, and that's actually starting to happen in China. I read an article about it the other day, which like holy shit,
that's wild. Unrelated to there, two video game and one non-video game, one that like deals with a certain kind of technology where they have like a little disc, they put it on their temple and it transports them into a simulation. And like for one, they're using it as like a way for people that are terminally ill to like kind of cope with that, and it turns them young again, like in the simulation, and they can go to like different decades and do some fun shit. And ultimately, like you can leave your consciousness there when you die. That was where it was first introduced. Very wild episode. Later on, Anthony Mackie, Falcon, Sam Wilson's actually in this episode. It's like two buddies in college played a Mortal Kombat-like game all the time. And then they grow up and they're older and they have families and whatever. And then there's a new game system out and one buys it for the other. And it's that same technology where you put a little disc on your temple and your eyes close and you go into the game. And I think like that is completely plausible technology.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going, right?
Yeah. But there are, that's not to say it's without implications.
Well, yeah, for sure, man. The technology in general. I was thinking the other day. I was just thinking about technology in the world and like how the internet has really kind of become like our sixth sense. It's like how we experience the world on a larger scale as opposed to like our more immediate ways. It's like we manufactured a sense, and VR obviously has a huge place in that conversation, I think, right?
Yeah. I gotta shut my window. Hold on. Neighbor decided to start mowing.
Dude, my neighbor was mowing at like 8:00 at night the other night.
8:30.
It's late. It's later now, but I saw it was like a teenage kid, so I was like, oh, his dad was probably like, get the fuck out there right now and mow the lawn. Been there. That was me. That was me in 2007.
Brutal, bro. I haven't mowed a lawn since 2008.
I thought I just heard Dan's drum set. Oh, dude, I've been jamming some music. I got a little band going on now.
Yeah, so you're telling me.
It's been cool. I know I sent you the other stuff I want to record, but I don't think I have time to do it. That's the unfortunate thing about being an adult is we don't have time to do shit.
Like at all.
I just don't have time. I love music. I mean, that's certainly like a pathway for me as far as like living a healthy life, but writing music, I mean, talk about like a basic form of creation and literally taking like an instrument with strings on it and like plucking them a certain way so it makes a certain sound that creates a bigger idea, and then adding other instruments. Like, it's just, how do we get involved in this shit?
I don't know. But like writing songs is just you being the conduit for that song to exist, right? Like, where does that like brings up like where does creativity come from, and like where is it all, like is it all coming from within you, or are you channeling like some other energy that's like happening and you're bringing that, you're like, you know, the medium between where it is and existing in our kind of the senses that we use to interpret these things. It's a very strange thing.
Well, I think we just need more. I think we need more, and like this is kind of where video games come in. Like, we went from the hunter-gatherer, like monkey type of being, and like learning, just surviving, to the point where we're living in these big areas where thousands of other monkeys live, and we have electricity and cell phones and guns, and some people act up and use guns on other people, and like we're trying to find new ways to understand our environment. And I know for me, like art, and I think video games fall into art big time. Art is the best way to understand it because it describes it in ways that are indescribable, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's why I love poetry, because I'm able to take words and use words to describe things I don't have words for, right? It's a beautiful thing, and that's why I do this, man. That's why I had this idea recently. Like, obviously, you've watched this whole thing with the show and like what I've been doing. I'm aware it's been misguided at times. Like, at first, it was a gaming channel or whatever, but now we're doing mental health only, pretty much. And I think it's just so important that we have shows where we talk about even a pathway per episode, and like show people that there's like so many ways that you can understand what the fuck is going on around you, because you only have the cards that you're dealt, right?
Yep.
And you can't, if you're really lucky, you have parents and a support system right away that can help you understand it and like kind of get you ahead. But I mean, dude, you know, and I'm not trying to get too personal, but you weren't dealt the best hand as a kid.
No.
You know, so like you went to music. I mean, that was probably your first one, right?
Yeah.
What was music? So, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is I really appreciate you doing this with me, man. I really do.
Man. Of course.
I think we should probably wrap it up because my girlfriend is actually here right now. I got a text from her about 20 minutes ago. She's been here a little while. Well, because I didn't want to rush our conversation. I think it was really, dude, this was awesome. I love having you on. By the way, I think you've been on more than anyone.
Interesting.
I think so. This is what, like your fourth time?
Yes. Counting the one that me and Kane both did, yeah.
Yeah, because I did 2 with you last time, and 1 with you and Kane.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely we got to do it again.
I want to do it.
Maybe we'll talk music next time.
We can talk whatever.
Or talk video games. The only thing with you and me is you and I can get in on politics, and I don't know if we should do it here. I haven't figured that out yet. How do you have a mental health show and talk about politics?
I think it's actually especially like winding down from the last political season. It is actually, especially with two people that aren't. We're both politically homeless. You know what I mean? Like we don't have.
Dude, like, that last season sucked, dude. We didn't even have a battle pass to get through that at all. Dude, they just gave it to us.
Brutal. Yeah.
But it's been good. Don't you think it's been like, not that there's no fuckery going on. Don't you think that like, at least without the loudmouth around anymore, like it's a little less stressful, right?
Yeah, and that's all it is really. It's just quiet now.
Yeah, but now it's like the government is doing the same shit. We just don't hear any bullshit.
At least before we would hear it on Twitter. I didn't agree with the time, but like at least I knew what was going on.
Dude, it's bad, and that's a whole other conversation. Like it's continuing to get worse, which is why. And I'll just say this. I have my political beliefs, and a lot of them are leave me alone. But a lot of it too is taking care of other people who really need it, and I just think it's so important that we take the time to acknowledge how people want to be seen and how people want to be heard, because ultimately that's how we learn about each other, and we teach each other how we want to be loved and how we want to move forward as human beings in this life. Just be fucking cool, man. Just be cool, bro. Just be fucking cool. But thanks for coming on, man. Is there anything else you wanna add to the conversation before I shut her down?
Unrelated to everything that we've talked about.
Yes.
But I just went through Atreyu's discography for the first time in like 10 years, and that
it's all good, man.
Bro.
It's so funny, dude.
Bro.
I tell people, I'm like, dude, when I scream, and I'm doing it now again, I'm like, yeah, I sound like Alex from Atreyu, and they're like, really, Atreyu? I don't really remember the sound. And then I put them on, and they're like, whoa.
Wow.
That's literally what it's crazy, dude.
Uncanny.
It's uncanny, dude. That's the perfect word for it. It's so weird. But yeah, they're still good. Their new stuff is debatable, though. I will say that.
After Lead Sales, I'm teetering on their newer stuff.
For sure. So what song should I play of yours to end the show? Birds Aren't Real?
Birds Aren't Real is fire. No Sugar, Birds Aren't Real. One of those two.
Just so you guys know, Chris is a artist. You want to tell them a little bit about your music before where they can find you,
It's on Spotify. If you search, it's pronounced.
Actually, here we go. I'll drag it right into the screen so they can see it.
ANXT.
Here it is. Birds Aren't Real.
After doing all the metal stuff, I just went through and started writing, like lo-fi chill beats, and then lately I've been doing some like boom bap, old school New York style beats. So that's gonna be fun to.
That's tight.
Talk about.
You've been doing stuff with Dom too.
Unfortunately, we haven't gotten together on anything yet. We've talked about it a bunch, and we want to.
We got to get together with him. I love that man.
I haven't seen him in a while.
That is a sweet man. Dom, what up? Shout out if you ever see this. That's a good dude right there. Well, all right, man. Thanks a ton. I'm just gonna end the call.
Cool.
And we'll touch base after. And dude, I appreciate the hell out of you. It was really fun doing this.
Thanks for having me on,
dude,
man.
This is so fun, man. We got to do it again.
Hell yeah.
All right, bro. I'm going to switch to the ending screen, and we'll talk later.
Have a good night, man.
All right, later. Bye, everyone. Thank you.